Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Live Math with Mr. C. Huge thank you to everybody that is tuning in. There's a little bit of a glare, so I think I am going to turn the light off. So this live, piggybacking off our last live stream, is about when to regroup and when not to regroup. I think I hear something in the background. It's about when to regroup and when not to regroup with 3-digit numbers. All right. All right, so I'm going to get into it. So regrouping when it comes to 3-digit numbers, no different than when it comes to 2-digit numbers, except instead of just looking in the ones place, we have to look in the ones and the tens place. So we look in the ones place and the tens place, and we determine if any of the numbers on the bottom are bigger than the numbers on the top. Now, if the number on the bottom is bigger in either the one or the tens place, then we need to regroup. Okay, so 545 minus 253. So I'm going to look at the ones place. 5 is bigger than 3, so we won't need to regroup in the ones place. Okay, number on the top is 4, number on the bottom is 5. 5 is the 5 on the is big. 5 is bigger than 4, and 5 is on the bottom in the tens place. So in the tens place, we are going to need to regroup. So we will need regrouping for this problem. So I'm going to get into that. I'm going to get into it right now. So the 5 in the hundreds place is going to become a 4, and the 4 in the tens place is going to become a 14. Because we're adding a 10 to the tens place. All right, now we can get into the actual subtraction. So 5 minus 3 equals 2. 14 minus 5 equals 9. 4 minus 2 equals 2. And my answer is 292. I'm going to get into the next problem. Before I get into the next problem, I think I'm hearing an echo, so I will be right back. 1 second. just playing, just joking around. Sorry about that. Okay, so 622 minus 500. Obviously, the labels are here for the first two, but I'm going to pretend as if the labels weren't there, and we need to figure out if we need to regroup or not. So looking at the ones place, 2 is bigger than 0. 2 is the top number, 0 is the bottom number, 2 is bigger. Tens place, same thing. 2 is the top number, 0 is the bottom number. So the top number is bigger for all the digits in this problem, so we do not need to regroup. We do not need to regroup for the second problem. All right, so 2 minus 0 is 2. 2 minus 0 again, that equals 2. 6 minus 5 equals 1. And we have our answer. So 622 minus 500 equals 122. All right. I'm going to erase this. Okay. And for the two problems, I may need to, there may be times where both problems need to be regrouped. You know, it's not always going to be, it's not going to go in any specific order or pattern. All right, checking the first subtraction problem here. 743 minus 229. All right, looking at the ones place, 3 is the top number, 9 is the bottom number. 9 is bigger than 3. You cannot have 3 and then take 9 away. So we will need to regroup. 4 is the top number, 2 is the bottom number, 4 is bigger. So in the tens place, we're not going to need to regroup, but we will need to regroup in the ones place. So there will be some regrouping for the first problem. With 3-digit numbers, sometimes you only need to regroup in the ones place. Sometimes you only need to regroup in the tens place. Sometimes it's both. All right. So the 4 is going to become a 3. And the 3 is going to become a 13. So 13 minus 9. Now we can subtract. 13 minus 9 equals 4. 3 minus 2 equals 1. 7 minus 2 equals 5. Our answer is 514. 315 minus 185. So looking in the ones place, okay, 5 is the top number and 5 is also the bottom number. So we don't need to regroup in the ones place. We got to check the tens place, though. So we only regroup if the bottom number is bigger. If they're the same, if the number is the same, like in this problem, we would not need to regroup. But we got to check the tens place because we may need to regroup based on what the numbers in the tens place are. So in the tens place, 1 is the top number, 8 is the bottom number. Since 8 is bigger than 1, we will need to regroup in the tens place. So for this one, both problems need regrouping. All right. So the 3 is going to become a 2. And since we're taking a 10 from the hundreds place, and the 1 is going to become an 11. And now we can get to the subtraction. So 5 minus 5 equals 0. 11 minus 8 equals 3. 2 minus 1 equals 1. And our answer is 130. All right, let's do another set of problems, shall we? All right, 300. I didn't exactly line these up, but that's all right. All right. 825 minus 411. So we're going to look at the numbers in the ones place. So in the ones place for this problem, top number is 5, the bottom number is 1. So far we're good. We don't need to regroup. Tens place, top number is 2, bottom number is 1. 2 is bigger than 1. So for this problem, we do not need to regroup at all. No regrouping is needed for this problem right here. We can just go right to the subtraction. So 5 minus 1 equals 4. 2 minus 1 equals 1. 8 minus 4 equals 4. Okay, 310 minus 219. So we're going to look at the ones place. Okay, in the ones place, top number is 0, the bottom number is 9. 9 is bigger than 0. If we're starting out with 0, we cannot take away 9. There won't be anything to take away. So we do need to regroup for this one. We are going to need to regroup at least in the ones place. Okay. Top number is 1, bottom number is 1. So we're not going to need to regroup in the tens place, but we will need to regroup in the ones place. So there is going to be some regrouping needed for this problem. All right. So we're going to take a 10 from the tens place. That's going to become a 0. 0 in the ones place is going to become a 10. Now, there's an extra step. We cannot subtract yet because after borrowing a 10 from the tens place, I brought it down to 0, and now there's a number in the tens place. Now in the tens place, the bottom number is bigger. So what I need to do, I need to do one extra step. I need to take a 10 from the hundreds place. So 3 is going to become a 2 now, and that 0 is going to become a 10. We always do all of our regrouping before we do any subtraction. Always do all of your regrouping before you do any subtraction. So you have the numbers that you're going to need. Exactly. All right, so 10 minus 9 equals 1. 10 minus 1 equals 9. 2 minus 2 equals 0. So I can leave this blank, or I can put a 0 in the hundreds place. Either way, it works. It'll be the same answer. 310 minus 219 is 91. 825 minus 411 is 414. All right, let me do another one. Probably do four more problems, and then I'm going to call it a stream. All right. 245 minus 122. So again, before we do any subtraction at all, we got to look at whether or not we need to regroup. So looking at the ones place, 5 is the top number, 2 is the bottom number. So we don't need to regroup in the ones place. We're good. Tens place, 4 is the top number, 2 is the bottom number. 4 is bigger than 2. So the top number is bigger in both those ones in tens place. We do not need to regroup at all in this problem. Remember, again, we only regroup when the bottom number is bigger. Okay. Looking at the ones place. Or wait, before we even slip my mind, I might as well solve this before I go into this one. So 5 is bigger than 2, 4 is bigger than 2, can go right to the subtraction. So 5 minus 2 equals 3. 4 minus 2 equals 2. 2 minus 1 equals 1. Answer is 123. Now for this one, looking at the ones place, 5 is the top number, 8 is the bottom number. Bottom number is bigger. That means we do need to regroup. We need to regroup in at least the ones place. We might need to regroup in the tens place too, but at least in the ones place, we're going to need to regroup. Tens place, looking at it now, 4 is the top number, 1 is the bottom number. So we're not going to need to regroup in the tens place, but we will need to regroup in the ones place. So there is some regrouping in this problem. So we're going to take a 10 from the tens place. The 4 is going to become a 3. And we're going to take the 5 in the ones place is going to become a 15. Now we can do our subtraction. So 15 minus 8 equals 7. 3 minus 1 equals 2. 4 minus 1 equals 3. So our answer is 327. Now, I will do another live stream where I show you how to solve subtraction problems where you can't do the basic subtraction in your head. So even if you're having trouble with one-digit subtraction, there are ways where you can find the right answer. But that live stream's coming up. That'll be a different live stream. As you can see, though, in math, everything builds. Everything builds off of the previous concept. So if you're really good at one-digit subtraction, it makes two-digit subtraction a lot easier. If you're good at two-digit subtraction, three-digit subtraction is going to be a lot easier. You know, it always builds off of the previous concept, the previous skill. All right. $775 minus 129. Be our first problem. Second problem. All right, that light is kind of dimming. I'm going to turn the lights off for the last one because light's kind of dimming it right here. Got that glow-in-the-dark swag right now. All right, hoorah. All right. So looking at the ones place, 5 is the top number, 9 is the bottom number. So 9 is bigger than 5, bottom number is bigger, so we will need to regroup. 7 is the top number, and 2 is the bottom number in the tens place, so we're going to need to regroup in the ones place, not the tens place. 5, so we're going to take a 10 from the tens place. 7 is going to become a 6. And then the 5 is going to become a 15. Now we can get into the subtraction. So 15 take away 9 equals 6. 6 take away 2. 6 minus 2 equals 4. 7 minus 1 equals 6. And our answer is 646. Okay. Looking at the next problem, 185 minus 100. So in the ones place, the top number is 5 and the bottom number is 0. So 5 is bigger than 0, so we do not need to regroup. In the ones place, tens place now. Top number is 8, bottom number is 0. 8 is bigger than 0, so again, we do not need to regroup at all in the second problem. Okay, 5 minus 0 equals 5. 8 minus 0 equals 8. 1 minus 1 equals 0. I could put a 0 in the hundreds place, or I could just leave it blank. Either way, it would count as the right answer. I'm going to do one more set of problems, and then I'm going to call it a day. Okay, looking at the ones place. 2 is the top number. 0 is the bottom number. So 2 is bigger, so we do not need to regroup in the ones place because the top number is bigger. Tens place. 1 is the top number. 1 is also the bottom number, so numbers are the same. So we do not need to regroup in the tens place either. We only regroup if the bottom number is bigger than the top number. If the top and bottom number are the same, we still do not need to regroup. All right. So subtraction time. 2 minus 0 equals 2. 1 minus 1 equals 0. 2 minus 1 equals 1. So our answer is 102. 704 minus 662. So looking at the ones place now, we always got to determine whether we need to regroup or not before we do the subtraction. So 4 is the top number in the ones place. 2 is the bottom number in the ones place. 4 is bigger than 2. Top number is bigger. We do not need to regroup in the ones place. Tens place. 0 is the top number. 6 is the bottom number. So we do need to regroup in the tens place because 6 is bigger than 0 and 6 is the bottom number there. So we're going to need to regroup in this one. So we're clear that is a 7. That's not a 1. All right. Let me just make the number a little stand out a little more, Hoorah. All right. So we got to regroup in the tens place. So the 7 is going to become a 6. So we're going to take a 10 from the hundreds place and add it to the tens place. 7 is going to become a 6. 0 is going to become a 10. So now we can get on to the subtraction. Four minus 2 equals 2. 10 minus 6 equals 4. 6 minus 6 equals 0. I could put a 0 in the hundreds place, or I could just leave it blank. Either way, it would still be the same answer, wouldn't change. So 704 minus 662 equals 42. And that concludes this live stream. Huge thank you to everybody who tuned in. I really appreciate it. Have a great evening.